So a couple of weeks ago, I gave you an update on an interface change within Ads Manager, and I walked you through how to go back to the old interface. That way you can still enjoy the same targeting options that you've been enjoying for a very long time. If you missed that video, you can go ahead and check it out right here. Now, what that whole video was about though was the push for Facebook's new Advantage Plus targeting. This is their new AI generated or inspired targeting options. Now, AI has always been a part of the algorithm and their targeting, but it's just a modified version, beefed up version, so to speak, and they're saying it's better. That's why they're making a big push for it. So while in that last video I walked you through how to go back to the old targeting, I did also say I'm gonna do some testing and I'm gonna get back to you. So that's what this video here is about. So I have some very interesting insights to share, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, before we go super deep, let's just go ahead and remind ourselves what this Advantage Plus targeting is. So we can see right here, it's our ad technology automatically finds your audience. If you share an audience suggestion, we'll prioritize audiences matching this profile before searching more widely. So what does that mean? That means that first and foremost, they're actually saying you never have to put in targeting options right here if you don't want to. And again, in that last video, I talked about the situations where this is good, this is bad, so make sure you do check out that previous video. The other thing that this means, which is probably the most interesting part, is that if you do put in some other targeting options, as a matter of fact, if we look at the button right here to add some targeting options, it even says audience suggestion. So what does that ultimately mean? It actually means that whatever you put in there is just a maybe, right? So if I'm targeting fans of Nike or Adidas or anything like that, or Puma, I'm only maybe getting in front of those people. If Facebook's ultimately decide, yes, I'm gonna get in front of fans of Nike, or actually I'm gonna go and get in front of fans of Asics or whatever it might be. So everything is simply a suggestion, and it's always going to eventually go outside of the parameters you give it. That's a little bit concerning, right? Because obviously you do hard work in terms of coming up with the right targeting, and now all of a sudden Facebook's telling you, actually, I may not follow your suggestions. And so it is a little bit weird, but at the end of the day, I gave this a test, and let me show you some results. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, so let's go ahead and break it down. All right, so in this first example, this is for a webinar funnel, and there's two audiences here. This is the non-Advantage Plus audience, and then this is the Advantage Plus audience. Here we can see that the ad spend over this time period that we're looking at was just about the same, and we can see huge difference in the number of leads and cost per lead. So previously this funnel was averaging about $5 per lead with the non-Advantage Plus targeting. Then that dropped all the way down to $1.86. So even though the ad spend is pretty close, this had more than 3 times the number of leads coming in. Another interesting insight here is that the click-through rates changed drastically. So you can see here with the Advantage Plus audience, both the CTR all and the CTR link are drastically higher. So this is 7.6 and 3.42 originally, so you can literally just double that and you get the new CTR all and CTR link numbers. Now, what is probably the most interesting part of this test right here is that this original audience, this non-Advantage Plus audience, it was a broad targeting audience, meaning there actually were no targeting options in here, right? We just gave a geolocation, age range, and gender, and we didn't put anything in for detailed targeting. And if we look at the Advantage Plus one, this is the same thing, right? We actually only put in age range, gender, and location. We didn't put in any other detailed targeting. So that in and of itself is super interesting, because you would think that an Advantage Plus audience with no targeting, or just an older ad set, I don't even know what to call it anymore, with no targeting, would perform pretty similar, because you're not giving any targeting. So that means you can actually theoretically get in front of everyone and everyone. But here you can clearly see there was a huge difference in the number of leads, the cost per lead, and particularly the click-through rates. But the differences don't just end there. So remember, this is for a webinar funnel, and there is a purchase offer at the end of the funnel. There also was a massive difference in terms of the purchases. You can just see the difference right here. This funnel was actually struggling quite a bit before the Advantage Plus came along. We gave that a try, and it literally just completely transformed the funnel overnight. All of a sudden, this became from being a total losing funnel to a winning funnel that is making money each and every single single day. All right, now let's move on to an example actually in my own account. All right, so here is my funnel, and here is the Advantage Plus audience, and then here is the regular audience right here. Now this time there actually is detailed targeting in both of these, right? So if I go down here, I'm targeting people who are fans of Amy Porterfield or James Wedmore or the Female Entrepreneur Association, what have you, and I have those same exact targeting options over here for this audience as well. I made no change right there, but now it's Advantage Plus. So remember, with Advantage Plus, these are all maybes, right? They may target those people, they may not. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results. And once again, we do see a huge drop in the cost per lead. So previously I was averaging about $21 per lead, actually almost even 22, and that dropped all the way down to $7.34. No changes at all in terms of the detailed targeting. The only change is that one is Advantage Plus and the other one is not Advantage Plus at all. If we look at the click-through rates, there was an increase in the CTR all, although it wasn't as drastic as the previous example, whereas the CTR link is actually the same. Now, in terms of the overall results of this funnel, I actually didn't see an improvement. Even though the leads got way cheaper, I didn't get any more booked calls. That's actually what the funnel is. It eventually leads to a booked call. So I got more booked calls with the non-Advantage Plus audience and fewer booked calls with the Advantage Plus audience, even though the volume of leads came from that. So that's an interesting insight right there, because in the previous campaign, literally the Advantage Plus just transformed it overnight. Whereas here, it did transform it in some way. I got more quantity, but I didn't necessarily get more quality. All right, let's take a look at another example for a different webinar funnel. All right, so here is another webinar funnel, and we see a similar trend right here. So all of the Advantage Plus audiences are marked with Advantage Plus. So this is an Advantage Plus, as well as these ones right here, and I believe there was one more. Maybe there's one more. Okay. Anyway, so those are the Advantage Plus audience, and then the other ones are the non-Advantage Plus. So when this test ran, these were the originals down here. And as you can see here, before launching the Advantage Plus, it was anywhere between essentially $8 and $11. And that actually was higher than what we were previously targeting. Actually, here's the other Advantage Plus. There we go. I found them all. So those are the Advantage Plus and non-Advantage Plus. And once the Advantage Plus were turned on, there was an immediate drop per lead. It literally went from being, $7 to $11 to $4.14 to $5.32 to $4.86. Huge drop in the overall cost per lead right there. And then if we keep on scrolling off to the right, also an absolutely huge increase in the click-through rate. So the original ad sets are down here, CTR all of 1.36 and 1.58, CTR links of 0.51, 0.65. Now we go to the Advantage Plus ones, you see the CTR all of 3.33, 2.83, 4.18, and then CTR links of 1.63, 1.54, and 1.39. So absolutely massive increase in the click-through rates, and as a result, an absolutely massive drop in the overall cost per lead. Now, as I said, this is another webinar funnel, and I saw the same results as with my own funnel. So with this funnel, there's a purchase offer at the very end. So even though the volume of leads coming in just absolutely exploded when switching over to Advantage Plus, we didn't see an increase in purchases. Therefore, we actually ended up turning off of several of the Advantage Plus audiences that you saw there. But you might have been wondering, well, with so many leads coming in, why is it off? Well, it's because there's no purchases coming in. So we turned those off, and we've only left on the ad sets that are bringing in purchases, which out of all the Advantage Plus audiences that we've been using, there's only one that's generating purchases, and so that is the one that is still on. Now, so far up to this point in all these examples, these have been for campaigns that are optimizing for the lead event. What about a campaign that is optimizing for the purchase event? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so here are several campaigns optimizing for the purchase event. Now, this is for a purchase, a $297 purchase to be exact. So the Advantage Plus audience are these two right here, and then the other ones, the other three are not Advantage Plus. Now we can actually ignore this bottom one. That's a retargeting campaign, so I've only focused on the top four compared to the so Advantage Plus right here, and then non-Advantage Plus right here. Same exact targeting options. There is zero difference. The only change is that, again, one is Advantage Plus and the other one is not Advantage Plus. And let's go ahead and take a look at the results. 7 purchases over the last 30 days at $140 per purchase. Now remember, this is for a $297 purchase, So that is a fantastic result right there. And then the original campaigns, you know, they spent a lot more, willing to dedicate a little bit more money, but they were getting $211 per purchase and $190 per purchase. So pretty similar ranges right there. So huge reduction in the cost per purchase right there. Now, to be fair, typically when you are spending less, your cost per result, whether it's a lead or a purchase, is always going to cost less. So I'm not saying that result will hold if I scale this up to the same levels over here, but an interesting insight nonetheless. For this campaign right here, this did not work because it was, again, it's a $297 purchase, and this is coming in for $489. However, when I looked at the data, it was actually really just because one ad was dragging down the whole results. This ad right here spent $622, got 0 purchases, where this ad right here spent $97 and got 2 purchases. So I've left that on for now. I want to test this one a little bit more. I don't want to throw away that result. And this kind of goes back to the, you know, what I always preach is that don't look at things just at the campaign level or the ad set level. Look at everything at every level, because you might find something that actually is working even when things aren't profitable, and that one change can bring it back to profitability. All right, so what is the takeaway from all of this? Well, the takeaway is that you just have to test. There are no universal truths inside of Facebook ads. So even if you see people out there talking on YouTube, oh, if you do Advantage Plus, it's gonna completely transform your business, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, right? As we can see here, you know, almost universally, although again, I literally just said that, you know, there are no universal truths, but almost universally, you know, I feel pretty confident in saying that if you choose an Advantage Plus targeting audience, it's going to decrease your leads, assuming you are optimizing for leads, but it's not necessarily going to increase the quality of those leads coming in. So if that is the case, then you want to just go back to your old targeting. If you are optimizing for the purchase event, so far it seems to be doing a pretty good job at that. Now, granted, this was only one example. I haven't had an opportunity to test it on other examples, but it is a promising start. But as always, it just comes down to testing. It might work for your business. It might not work for your business. So try it out for yourself and let me know how it goes. If you have any questions about Advantage Plus or anything else around targeting, as always, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I will see you in the next one.